Hey Gen Mex, I'm here in Ajijic, actually San Antonio Tlayacapan, which is just right next door to Ajijic. And we're going to be talking about, first off, the scariest thing about Ajijic is definitely going to be in this video. And also what a retired person does to keep busy in Ajijic. That's going to be the focus of our interview today with Wayne. Wayne has a YouTube channel, which is Living La Vida Lakeside. And we'll have links, of course, to his channel down below, but we're going to go ahead and meet Wayne. First off, let's hear where I like to start the story, which is the origin, which is right before moving to Mexico. What happened that got them here?
So before moving to San Antonio, I was in Las Vegas, was there for 5 years, used it as a base to go explore the West, hiking, camping, and I've always been a big space fan. And so 2 years ago, there was an eclipse that kind of went through Mexico and then up through the US. And I said, where's the best place to see the eclipse? And it was like, I can see the shadow of the moon come ashore in Mazatlan. And so it was like, book it, let's go. But you don't go to Mexico just for a weekend. So was here for a week, researching what else I could do after the eclipse. Found a wonderful channel that introduced me to other people who happened to be here lakeside. Spent the week, found a lovely place, and now I live here.
We're totally jealous. Kat and I really wanted to see that eclipse. We actually had rented a hotel room like 2 years in advance, and then we hadn't gotten our tickets on the ferry because there's a ferry from Mazatlan to La Paz, and we didn't get our tickets in time and we couldn't get a cabin, and so it just kind of fell apart there. So if you get a chance to see a full solar eclipse, definitely make it happen. But let's talk about happenings here. So as I mentioned, Wayne's channel, it's a rather new channel, but you'll be able to see some of the things that he's doing here in the lakeside area. So Ajijic, Chapala, San Antonio, San Juan Cosala, there's a whole bunch of towns mostly along the north side of Lake Chapala. And so he's kind of exploring that area. And well, let's ask why he chose to create this YouTube channel in the first place.
So I've been retired 2 years and I knew I had to come up with something to do after I wasn't working full time. And I worked in a very high-tech technical career, so I wanted to do something creative. And I thought I was going to do a board gaming channel because I love board games and bought the equipment. We've got a lovely table to do that in Vegas. And then we moved and things changed and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be in this new place. How can I go out and explore it and be creative? And so Living La Vida Lakeside is my keeping myself busy doing something new, recording it, sharing it, finding the people and the places and the organizations that make this place interesting and active and not just, another random town in Mexico. It's a place that's active and vibrant, and that's really my focus of the channel and why I'm doing it. It's to get me out every week to do something new and share it with you.
Okay, so let's hear some of those things that are going on in the Lake Chapala area.
What's going on in Lake Chapala? Well, this weekend, the YouTubers are all getting together because it's a fantastic place in Mexico to come visit. So you'll be seeing lots of videos from Ajijic. But when I knew I was going to be here, I joined all the local Facebook groups and started recording all the interesting things that I was learning about. And now I've got 90 entries on my Excel sheet, so I'm slowly checking them off one at a time. I've featured a walking tour and what's that look like for downtown Ajijic, a little history. I'm working on videos about hiking and biking, or trivia nights. Next week I'm going to be out on the lake doing some kayaking. So it's every other video I try to do something active, keep my blood flowing, stay young, and something else that, anybody could do with whatever their physical condition and interest in being active. So that's what I'm doing there, and that's what there is here to do locally.
So actually, it is such a small world. This morning, I saw Greg Custer, who is in one of the videos on my channel. It'll hopefully be linked up in one of these corners if I remember to do it. But Greg leads the walking tours. So he was putting up a poster for the walking tour, and I think Kat's going on the walking tour tomorrow. So really, Ajijic especially, and really, we were at the Lake Chapala Society, which is just an amazing, amazing place for foreigners living in this area to hang out and to do. We saw like chair yoga or something like that, chair exercises, and then there were people doing yoga. There was some financial planning event going on. There were a lot of people playing cards. So lots and lots of stuff to do at the Lake Chapala Society. But then beyond that, there is so much more to do in this area. It really caters to foreigners because foreigners have been coming here for such a long time. But I do want to see Wayne's house because he did purchase this house not too long ago. So we're going to get a tour of the house, hear about the neighborhood, and also tell you guys what these guys paid for it. And I have not forgotten, we will talk about the scariest thing in Ajijic before this video is over.
So welcome. We bought it in May and we've moved in September. We spent the summer hiking in Canada. So we're in a gated community because we want to leave for long stretches of time and do activities while we can. The house itself it's the newest house we've ever lived in. It's got a mirador, which you'll see, and it's got lovely views of the area. And then over here, we've also got, the how we get around in Lakeside. From an amenities perspective, there's someone that takes care of the grounds. It's got a pool and a common clubhouse. We're teaching the neighbors board games every week at Tuesdays, right? So you get to know the neighbors and you build the community that you want to live in. So that's what we're doing. So you come in the front door and you turn to the left and you're into what people would call the living room. We call it primarily the television and the cardio room because that's what we do. We're either on the couch watching the television, or if we're good that day, we're on the exercise bikes. It's got a fireplace that we don't use, but it's a lovely space to be in. And then over on the right, we've got the kitchen and the peninsula, typical appliances, and then what would normally have been the dining room, and if you wanted to buy it, it would be the dining room, but it's now got all of this stuff that, because we're still under a little renovations and construction, is being stored here. We'll put a sidebar for some storage and things over when it's done. So just off the dining room is the master bedroom and the master suite, which is still under construction, or actually under renovation. We found, when you live in a concrete building, water seeps in and it can create a little damage here and there. So you need to be very active in making sure that you protect that. So we had a pocket door that used to slide in here. The mechanism was failing and there was no way to maintain it. So now we've taken it off and put it on rollers. And so we'll have a barn door into our master bathroom, which the tiling is all done, but now we're in the painting and the ceiling, the bricks on the ceiling, because there's bricks on the ceiling, and getting that all ready. So soon we'll move all the things that were in the dining room back where they belong, into here. One of the things I liked about the house is it's got outdoor living space, and you can come in out to the courtyard through one of three different ways. So we're coming out through the master bedroom, but you can also get out through the dining room. And then this used to be just an open patio, kind of a three-season patio, but we enclosed it with glass doors because we want to put our board gaming table out here and to be able to entertain guests and have dinner and those sorts of things. So the bathroom renovation project materials are still here, but they'll be done in a couple of weeks, and then the board games will fill the racks. So back through the rest of the house, if you came in the front door and go right, little built-in office area where we've got some of the board games that are, you got to have some that are easily accessible. The guest bath, little corner shower. It's what we're using now. It's what we've used since we've moved in while we're getting the master suite all fixed up. And then it's a 2-bedroom house. And so this is the workroom where we work over here on our computers and our standing desks. And we've got our workout bench and free weights, and got to use it or lose it. So this is where we use it.
So we are going to get the price of this house, but before we get the price of this house, I want you to do one of two things. One, if you are already a subscriber, I want you to share this video. And if you are not yet a subscriber, be sure to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notifications of future videos. But let's go ahead and get the price, including monthly costs, condo fees, things like that.
So we purchased the house in April of 2025. We paid $290 US. It turned out it was an all US dollars transaction, which is interesting that you can buy property in Mexico in US dollars out of a US bank, but that's what the seller wanted to do, and we were happy with that. We're in a condo complex, so they take care of the grounds and those sorts of things. It's super convenient since we're not here year round to have someone always taking care of all of those sorts of things. We only pay about $200 a month for our HOA fees, depending on the currency fluctuation. That takes care of the grounds and the pool and the clubhouse and all of those components. And for those of you that are wondering what property taxes are, we pay about $300 a year for property taxes here on a 290 modern house here in Mexico.
Okay, so I promised that we would get to the scariest thing in Ajijic, and so here we are, the big reveal. Wayne, what is the scariest thing for you in Ajijic?
So for me, the scariest thing isn't the things that you're thinking about. It's really the communicating in Spanish in a culturally appropriate, understandable way to make myself to be heard. Part of the reason I started my channel was to engage with the local community. So when I'm going to go out and interview someone about a biking video and that person doesn't speak any English, it's up to me to learn and to communicate and have these conversations. So I'm always running in my brain, and my little anxieties are, am I saying this right? Is it proper? Is it respectful? Is my word going to be misunderstood? So to me, it's really being a good resident in Mexico, communicating in an effective and appropriate and respectful way with the local community. That's what worries me about living here. Everything else, traffic now and then, but it's mastering the language, and that's on me, and I'm working on it.
Yes, being able to communicate, having that conversation where you get the first words out that you've been thinking about, and then having them respond as if you can really understand Spanish, and you're like, oh my God, I got myself way too deep into this. But here in Ajijic, most people do speak English, so often if they see you struggling, they're going to switch to English anyway. So that's what happened today when I went to Acton I went and did a video with them and struggled a little bit with my Spanish at the front desk, and then they switched over to English to help me out a little bit. And I always like to know how people are learning Spanish, because I've been doing Duolingo for 150 days or something like that, and I'm not really learning much, and I know I'm not learning much, and I feel like I'm using that as an excuse to not learn and to say like, oh, well, I did my Duolingo today and check the box. And I feel like I need to do something more. So I'm curious, Wayne, how are you learning Spanish?
So you learn Spanish by using Spanish. So moving to Ajijic doesn't force me to do that. So I have to force myself to do that. Part of the ways I've been learning Spanish is Duolingo. I've got a much longer streak than you do, so keep at it. I find it helps for vocabulary, but when I've got a contractor coming in, because as you've seen the house, we've got some renovations going on, and you have to communicate those sorts of things. The Lake Chapala Society has wonderful language programs in the Lakeside area. There's a lot of tutors as well. But I know I need more than that. So I've actually booked a month this fall. I'm going to go to Antigua, Guatemala and do an immersion class. So I'm going to go back. I'm retired. I'm going to be a college student again for a month. And I really expect to learn a lot and learn the culture there as part of a learning vacation. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah, I think those immersion programs are the way to do it. Kat and I did just like a 3 or 4 day immersion type experience in Panajachel, which is not that far from Antigua, Guatemala. Really, Guatemala it's full of language schools. So that is a great option. And especially if you go do a homestay or something like that, you really dig in. I'm not sure if that's in my future because I'm not yet retired. So I'll probably do something more like hiring a tutor online or in person in La Paz. But I like to wrap up each one of these videos with a tip. So I'm wondering, Wayne, what is your top tip for the viewers?
So if you're looking to move to Mexico, or pretty much move anywhere else, if you could go there early and see what the community is like. Vegas is a lovely town to visit, but I never found my community there. Came to Lake Chapala, spent a week here, had more friends in a more warm and earnest week than I had 5 years in Las Vegas. The rest of it is details, but once you found your community, that's where home is.
That was a wonderful tip. I love it. And if you're here and looking for your next video to watch, you've got a couple of options on your screen. One is Greg Custer, and this is what I like to call Mexico Beyond the Beach. So he has a great system for choosing where in Mexico to live. So check out that video. Or down here, I've got something from Wayne's channel, so you can check out his channel too. From Ajijic / San Antonio Tlayacapan, wish you were here. Hasta luego.